Hey everybody, we're going to start a new project here. This is what I mentioned in my finale of my Executone amp. So what you see here is an Atwater Kent 856 cabinet, and I'll show you the chassis in a few minutes. So this is what I'm going to turn into a Fender amp. I think I'm going to use the Fender Champ circuit again, but this is going to be a combo. And the reason why it's going to be a combo is because I have room to mount a 10-inch speaker here. So so what I'll do is I'll build the chassis. I'll use these for the volume and the power switches. This will be for an input, and this will be for my my pilot lamp. And I'll need to figure out what I'm going to do in this hole here. And of course I've got this speaker baffle that will go inside and cover up the speaker. And let me take the chassis out and show you what that looks like. But this is going to be a cool guitar amp here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reinforce these corners on the inside as well, so that I can use a Fender handle on top. So this will be a cool little boutique radio / amplifier. Let me flip it around and show you the inside. Alright, so flipped it around. Here's the inside. Here's the chassis, and you can see how low the chassis is to the bottom, which is good because the speaker is going to be right up here. And it's a 10-inch speaker. Let me pull this chassis out and I'll show you what it looks like underneath. So, looking underneath the chassis, fairly straightforward. This is where my transformer is going to mount. This will be from my rectifier tube. And let's see. My other two tubes, I'm going to have a 12AX7 on this thing, and I'm going to have a 6V6, and I'm going to mount those somewhere in this area. And this area right here is going to be for the board. It's a very small board for this thing. It's only a very simple amp. And then of course out the front here I've got my my holes for my knobs. Okay? So that's the plan on this. I'm already working on the transformer, so this transformer had to be rewired. This is a spare transformer that I had, so I've had to rewire the transformer. Tonight I've put some Rust-Oleum on there to protect it. It was a little rusty. And then of course I've painted the clamshells. This is a pretty cool clamshell right here. It's made by Standard Transformer. This label here, there was originally a label on this thing, which I obviously had to destroy to paint it. So I created one on the computer and glued it on. So this is exactly what it looked like. It was yellow, same font, everything. And this is the transformer that's going to be in there. So I'm just waiting for the paint to dry on here. And then I can put that together. And once I do that, I'll be able to mount my 8-pin octal sockets on the chassis. I'll be able to mount the transformer. And then I can start doing my wiring for my filaments. So that's going to be the program. Taking a look at the schematic real quick, you'll see it's a very, very straightforward amp. I've already done one of these before. If you followed my series, you saw I did one. But this is, again, a combo. So you'll see there's two inputs, right? And they go to each half of the 12AX7. You'll see the 12AX7 is really a dual tube. Comes over to a simple single power tube and then out through the speaker. And then down here in your power section, very simple, rectifier tube, filaments. There's let's see, 2 8s and a 16 from an electrolytic standpoint. And again, this 470 ohm resistor you see there, that's going to be doubled to 1,000, 1K. And the reason why is because that's the grid leak resistor, if you recall. And the grid leak resistor is basically what keeps the tube normalized when it's idle. The lower that is, the more stress the tube has on it when it's sitting there doing nothing. So we're going to increase that to a K, 1K. And that's it. I'll show you what the layout looks like. Here's the layout for the circuit. Okay, I am going to use a board just like this one again. I found that worked out much better in my last project. And you can see there's not much to this thing anyway, right? It's real simple. And there's your 12AX7. your 6V6, your rectifier tube, and of course you got your combo volume power pot there, and there's your two inputs. So that's my next project. So this will be an Atwater Kent Champ. That's what we're going to call it, I think. And I'll have to come up with some sort of back on this thing for the back of the chassis, so I can protect it. But that's the new project. And when I was talking about before about reinforcing it, obviously these joints are really old. Let's see if I can get some light in here. You can see that. Alright, so there's the Atwater Kent label. These joints are really old though, and if I start putting a handle on here and lifting this thing up from the top, it's going to separate. You'll see there's one of the chocks are missing here. So I'm going to have to fix that. But that's the plan. So I'll update you as I get a little bit more forward. I got to wait for the transformer to dry, and then we'll start putting this together. Alright, I'll be back. This is Ron.